The cell. Definition of the cell. Cell is the structural and functional unit of any living organism. Structure and functions of parts of a light microscope. Light microscope. A microscope is an instrument that is used to observe cells which are too small to be seen by an unaided eye. The most commonly used instrument for observing cells is the light microscope. Cells are thus described as microscopic in size because they can only be seen with the help of a microscope. Functions of microscope. To make very small organisms appear bigger so that they can be seen. This is called magnification. To make it possible to see two objects which are very close together as separate objects. This is called resolution. It is called the light microscope because light has to pass through the object to be viewed. 1. Eyepiece. Contains a magnifying lens that focuses the image from the objective into your eye. 2. Coarse adjust. For focusing under low magnification. 3. Fine adjust. For focusing under high magnification or low. 4. Low power objective. For large specimens or overview. 5. High power objective. For detailed viewing or small specimens. 6. Specimen on glass slide. What you want to look at. 7. Stage. Supports specimen in correct location to lens. 8. Condenser. Focuses the light on specimen. 9. Diaphragm, iris or disc. Regulates amount of light and contrast. 10. Light source. Illuminates the specimen for viewing. Use and care of the light microscope. Cell structure and functions as seen under a light microscope and an electron microscope. The cell structures seen under a light microscope include cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus vacuole and chloroplasts. The structures within the cell are called organelles. The electron microscope. It's more powerful than a light microscope and it uses a beam of electrons instead of light to illuminate the object. Cell structure as seen under an electron microscope. Cell wall. It's the non-living outermost part of most plant cells. It's made up of a chemical substance called cellulose. Cellulose is tough and resists stretching. The wall gives firmness and a fixed shape to a plant cell due to presence of cellulose. The cell wall has pores called plasmodesmata through which the cell exchanges material with its environment. These pores also allow movement of substances between the cells. The cell wall also protects the cell from bursting when excessive pressure of fluid builds up inside it. NB. It's similar to leather covering of a football which prevents the inner tube from bursting due to high air pressure. Cell membrane, plasma membrane. This membrane is visible as the outer surface of the animal cells. Functions. To hold or enclose the contents of the cell. Regulates the movement of materials in and out of the cell. Cytoplasm. It's composed of all the cell contents except the nucleus. The fluid and semi-fluid part of the cytoplasm is called cytosol. Ganelles and insoluble granules of various kinds are suspended in the cytosol. Cytoplasm also contains many dissolved substances like food, nutrients, mineral ions, dissolved gases and vitamins. Cytoplasm keeps on moving about in the cell. Such movement also changes the position of organelles in the cell. Nucleus. It's large and oval or spherical in shape. In cells of higher animals and plants it's enclosed by a nuclear membrane. The nucleus is made up of nuclear material called nucleoplasm. This controls the activities of a cell and heredity, passing of traits from parents to offspring. Nuclear membrane. It encloses the nucleus. The membrane has pores that allow most molecules to pass freely between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. Nucleolus. It's a small dark spherical body inside the nucleus. It manufactures ribosomes which move through the pores in the nuclear membrane into the cytoplasm. Ribosomes. They are small spherical organelles. Some are attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum and others float freely in the cytoplasm. Function. They play an important role in the manufacture of proteins in the cell. Endoplasmic reticulum, ER. Endoplasmic reticulum, ER, appears as a series of interconnected channels, running throughout the cytoplasm. Some have granules called ribosomes on their surfaces and are therefore referred to as rough or granular endoplasmic reticula. The rough transports proteins and is abundant in cells that specialize in secreting proteins, such as cells of pancreas which secrete digestive enzymes. Smooth is not covered with ribosomes and it transports lipids. It's abundant in seeds. Golgi apparatus. It's also called Golgi body. They are stacks of membrane-bound tube-like sacs. They are found close to the cell membrane. Functions. Packaging and transport of glycoproteins. Involved in secretion of synthesized proteins and carbohydrates. Involved in the formation of organelles called lysosomes. Lysosomes. They are round organelles of different sizes. They have a single membrane and are formed by Golgi apparatus. Functions. Digestion of food particles. They contain special enzymes that break down various substances. Defending the body against harmful bacteria. The lysosomes release enzymes which destroy both the bacteria and white blood cells. Destruction of worn out or old cells that have stopped functioning. Mitochondria. They are oval, shaped organelles which produce energy for the cell. This energy is used in the cell in various activities. Vacuoles. They are sacs that are filled with fluid called cell sap. Animal cells contain small vacuoles while in plant cells the vacuoles are large. Functions. Store sugars and salts, therefore contribute to the osmotic properties of the cell. In some unicellular organisms, food vacuoles store and digest food. Centrioles. They are rod-shaped structures located just outside the nuclear membrane. They take part in cell division. Plant cells lack centrioles. Chloroplasts. They contain chlorophyll which traps light energy that is used during photosynthesis. They are absent in animal cell. Preparation of temporary slides of plant cells. Preparation of slides. There are two types of mounted slides. Temporary slides. They are those that are used only once. They are not stored for future use. Permanent slides. These are slides that have been prepared to be used over and over again for a long period of time. The cover slip is usually sealed permanently to enclose the prepared specimen. Preparation of temporary slides involves the following stages. Sectioning. In order for a specimen to be seen under the microscope, light has to pass through it. This makes it necessary to obtain very thin slices or sections of the specimen. Thin sections are obtained by cutting with a sharp razor blade or an instrument called a microtome. This cutting process is called sectioning. Types of sections. Transverse, cross-section. It's obtained by cutting across the length of specimen. This type of section shows arrangement of structures across the width of specimen. Longitudinal section. They are obtained by cutting along the length of a specimen. Fixation. It involves treating the specimen with 70% ethanol or a solution of 99% ethanol and 1% glacial ethanoic acid. The chemical used for fixation is called fixative. The specimen must be fixed rapidly. Fixation is carried out for two reasons. To maintain the structure of the specimen. To make the specimen material hard enough for thin sections to be cut. Staining. Since most biological sections are transparent, they need to be stained to make it easier to identify different parts of the specimen. Some common dyes used for staining are iodine, methylene blue, neutral red, eosin. Mounting. Place a microscope slide flat on a bench. Select the thin rust section from the ones you prepared earlier. Mount. Place it onto a drop of water on a microscope slide. Carefully spread out the specimen to lie flat on the slide. Place one edge of a cover slip at an angle in the drop of water. Use a mounting needle to lower the cover slip gently over the specimen. Take great care not to trap air bubbles beneath the cover slip. Estimation of cell size. Cell specialization, tissues, organs and organ systems. 1. Cell specialization. This is where cells are modified to perform specific functions. Such cells are said to be specialized. 2. Tissues. These are cells of a particular type that are grouped together to perform the same function. 3. Organs. Many tissues become specialized and grouped together to perform a functional unit called the organ. 4. Organ systems. This is made of several organs whose functions are coordinated and synchronized to realize an effective action is called an organ system. Examples include digestive, circulatory, excretory, respiratory, reproductive, and nervous system. Specialized animal cells. Ciliated epithelial cells. They are found in the inner layer of nose and windpipe. These cells have cilia on their outer surface. Cilia are very small hair-like structures whose function is to move and keep up a stream of mucus that traps and carries dust and germs from inhaled air to prevent them from reaching the lungs. White blood cells. They have large nuclei. These cells are able to change their shape. They protect the body against diseases by destroying disease-carrying organisms. Red blood cells. They are flattened, circular and biconcave in shape. They have no nucleus. Because they contain hemoglobin, the red blood cells are able to transport Ygine from the lungs to the other body cells and carbon dioxide to the lungs. Nerve cell. This is a cell that has extensions of its cell cytoplasm. These extensions enable the nerve cells to receive and send information from one part of the body to another. Specialized plant cells. Root hair cells. It's a tube-like extension of epidermal cells. Its thinned wall. They absorb water and mineral salts. Epidermal cells form the outer covering of plants' parts. Guard cells. Guard cells are bean-shaped and they are found in pairs with an opening between them. The guard cells have chloroplasts. They regulate the size of stomata to allow gases to move into and out of the leaf. They also control the loss of water from the plant. Tissues. It's a group of cells which perform the same specific function. Examples of tissues. Epidermal. The epidermis cover all exposed areas of plant, e.g. on surface of leaves. They usually form one thin layer of cells and protect the plant from drying up and from infection. Photosynthetic tissue. Cells in this tissue contain chloroplast which have chlorophyll, hence the tissue is responsible for the manufacture of food through photosynthesis. Vascular tissue. Transport water and mineral salts and dissolved material from one part of the plant to the other. It consists of xylem vessels and phloem tissue. Cortex tissue. There are three types. Parenchyma, packing tissue. When they absorb water they become turgid, which keeps the plant upright. Collenchyma. They are found in the stems of mature plants and their walls are thickened with cellulose. Sclerenchyma. Their walls are thickened with cellulose which strengthens the plant. Oenemal tissues. Epithelial cells. They cover the surface of the body such as skin and mucous membrane. They protect the inner, more delicate cells. Blood tissue. It's made up of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelet. Muscular tissue. There are three main types. Skeletal muscular tissues are connected to the bones of the skeleton. They are also called voluntary muscles because they are controlled by the brain. They contract and relax to bring about movement. Smooth muscular tissue include muscles of the bladder and alimentary canal. They are also called involuntary because they are not controlled by the brain and works unconsciously. Cardiac muscular tissues. They are special involuntary muscles of the walls of the heart. Skeletal tissue. They are of two types. Bone. It's very hard due to presence of large amounts of calcium salts. Cartilage. It's not as hard as bone tissue as it does not contain calcium salts. It is therefore more elastic. Connective tissue. Their function is mechanical to provide support. Organs. It's a group of two or more types of tissues working together to perform a specific function. Plant organs. Leaf, stem, root, flower. Animal organs. Organ function. Brain coordinates body activities. Eye. Vision. Heart pumps blood to all parts of the body. Stomach. Digestion of food. Organ systems. A group of organs that work together to perform a specific function. E.g. A. Digestive system. B. Circulatory system. C. Respiratory. D. Excretory system. Observe, identify, draw and state the functions of parts of the light microscope. Prepare and observe temporary slides of plant cells. B. Serve permanent slides of animal cells. Comparison between plant and animal cells. Observe. Estimate size and calculate magnification of plant cells.